One, two, three. Now we're live. So, okay, we're here with Valeria Atanacio. We're out at Chichalu. It's after 8 o'clock. And you've done one video. You did one video without me, but you want to take this opportunity to let people know a little bit more about yourself. And you and I were talking before we started filming, and I think you have like a very interesting life history, especially that of your kids and your trip to Morocco and how that relates to your views now.
Absolutely. Thanks for opening up the discussion. And Lahayam, everyone. It's really good to be here again, sharing more with you about myself. I do want to share a little bit about some of why, I'm, making my way back home to Grand Ron. I was sharing with Chris earlier that I spent 3 months in Morocco with my young children. They're half Moroccan. Their dad is from there. And they're of Berber descent, which is the indigenous peoples of that area. And we spent 3 months there, and so I got a really cool look at the rich culture and diversity of culture there, and also just the connection and the things that they do with their young children and their communities there. And it really inspired me to come back home to my community. This was now 2 summers ago, but right when we came back, I made it known. I was like, we're moving back home. We're coming back to Grand Ron. Living in Kaiser over the last 4 years, even though it's not very far from Grand Ron, there still is a big disconnection, I think, for those who live off our homelands here in Grand Ron. And so I just really want to be back here and be introducing my girls to the ways that I'm still learning about and kind of reimagining and sort of reclaiming as my indigenous practices, including language, culture, but also just, what it means to be part of a community that takes care of one another. And so I share this story with you because I think it really informs my values as a person and my beliefs about working collaboratively with one another, both, not only as a community hand in hand, but also within our government practice and within the decisions we make that impact us all. And so it's one of the reasons why I am also just really excited to run for council this year and get my voice out there. I think one of the things that I bring to the table is a young kind of visionary perspective that may not quite exist, on our current council. This is really a time for our newer generations to step up and start leading and learning and really feeling, inspired to take on those roles within our community. And so that is really my big motivation here, is just feeling like it's time. And I know what it's like today to raise 2 young girls. I have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, as I've shared with many of you, who, have connection to this place, who have ties to Grand Ron, and they know where they come from. And I try really hard to integrate, that learning and that, tradition into their daily life, whether that means, something simple as talking about memories from when I spent here as a kid, to something more, big, like reading a book or being able to spend some time watching some of the many YouTube videos and things that our tribe has put together on issues that I think are important to me, but also that I want to instill as important to my young children. And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with you today. I don't know if, Chris, you have any other questions that I'm happy to answer.
Have you watched the show Reservation Dogs?
I have watched the show Reservation Dogs. I'm a huge fan. It has been so refreshing to see that representation of our indigenous people, and some of the things that we can laugh at, some of the things we can, know that are ours as a unified, population. Like, we understand what that's like, some of those jokes. I know that's not the case for many people who are watching, and so it's really cool to actually see some of that stuff, and I totally love it. I think it's another way that we're just being resistant to kind of the colonial culture and the colonial context of, even Hollywood. I think it's amazing.
So who would be your favorite character from the show?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Willie Jack, I bet, huh?
I love Willie Jack. She's amazing. Yeah, I mean, bad I want to say a cuss word, but I'm not gonna.
Okay.
She's a strong character. She, knows what she wants, and she always speaks, from her heart. And so I really love that about her.
All right, cool. That was my random question.
All right, thank you.
All right.